Following the news that the PFL has merged with Jake Paul's most valuable promotions, footage surfaced of Jake trying to convince Khabib Nurmagomedov backstage to fight for the promotion. Khabib didn't seem to take Jake seriously at all.
Hey, what do you think, MVP PFL?
Amazing. I think it's good. It's good for MMA.
With what we're doing, this merger with MVP, we're changing MMA forever, where we give fighters a better place to live. If you fought for us, it would monumentally
change the sport
forever. So it's about
Islam Makhachev versus Garry will be one-way traffic, and is confident Islam will finish him easily.
But Islam and Garry, that's your division. What do you make of that fight and how you think that one plays out? You know, the interesting thing about that fight, because I kind of looked it up, and I think this is kind of common knowledge, but Gary's going to be like the biggest opponent he's fought as far as like the height and reach. So I do wonder if Garry can kind of keep him on the outside or stuff those takedowns. What do you make of the main event?
Yeah, I don't know, because Garry is tall, he's long, but he's not like a Morales where he's like big and strong as well. Like Ian's not putting guys out with one shot. He doesn't really have that capability, so I don't think it's going to be too hard for Islam to get him down. Like, yeah, Ian's definitely long, but Ian's tall, but his reach is only 74 inches, so it's not like he has a
like a crazy reach. Yeah.
Where it'd be a lot harder to get past his arms. I just think it's one-way traffic for Islam. I think he's going to get him down, and I think he will sub him. And I've seen stuff. Ian's not the heaviest 170-pounder either. Like, I think he fought in California where they release your weights for the fight night. I've seen one where I think he only gained like 11 pounds. Like, he was like 181 in the back. Like, I was like 198 like my last fight in the back, you know? Like, some of us 70, like, we get big, and he's just not. And I'm not saying that means a whole lot, but it definitely means something, you know? So yeah, he is tall, he is quote unquote long, but yeah, I don't think Islam's going to have too hard of a time.
Islam Makhachev sews his own clothes, saying he doesn't have money for dry cleaning yet.
Islam, what are you doing?
Fix, bro, fix.
Fix what?
Fix my jalabi, or how it's called.
Jalabi, yes. But why you don't take dry cleaning? You don't want to pay money? Only $5.
Bro, next week I gonna have money. This week no money.
How you learn this?
I do better than dry cleaning.
Yeah?
I learned from my grandmother.
Wow, your grandmother teach you this?
Yes.
Okay.
You have something for fix?
Yes. Who clean your room?
Clean? Dry cleaning. Bro, my room is always clean, bro. Check.
My room always clean.
Your room?
Yes.
What?
Yeah, brother, of course.
Go film your room, bro, please.
But very interesting.
Show people.
You pound for pound king?
Egypt room, bro. Show people.
This not
Sean O'Malley reflects on the beef he had with Sean Strickland. If you missed it, the two had a heated exchange during the UFC seasonal press conference a few years ago. At the time, O'Malley was preparing to defend the bantamweight title in a rematch against Chito Vera, while Strickland was getting ready for his first middleweight title defense, Dricus du Plessis.
With the status, trying to let Deuce his wife, Chito's a stand-up mother. He's a hard man. Let's make America try to Chito, let's go. Oh,
at least my dad didn't me.
What do you say?
That at least my dad didn't me.
Oh, this guy, man. Let me tell you, dude. UFC, whatever.
More insecure than Ilya is about his shoes. Ilya wears like 6.5 shoe.
And now we got the clown over here. And you over there rooting for this guy, dude. Guy's a clown. He ain't a baby. And Red on Happy Dad over there jerking him off the whole time.
Speaking of Happy Dad.
Go and let Deuce your wife. This is crazy, bro. We need to bring back men to this sport. Dana, what happened? What happened, Dana?
Is there another question?
Question for...
Khabib posted this on his official Telegram today. It translates to, "The face I make when someone tries to convince me to come back." Last week, King Green showed up at Adrian Broner's gym and sparred Broner's friend Bang. Bang is a professional boxer with a record of 19-1. However, many felt Green dominated the sparring session. Afterwards, several boxers called on MMA fighters to step into the boxing ring. Jamal Hill has since responded, calling boxers limited fighters. Hill says no boxer could ever walk into an MMA gym and do what Green did to Bang.
Say to the boxing world, one of y'all boys got exposed.
It is what it is. It was a spar. He can learn from it. He can grow from it. Y'all could easily just leave it at that. All these boxers I'm seeing on here from all different weight classes hopping on, talking about Bobby Green this, Bobby Green that. Come pull up on this, come pull up on that. Bro, y'all are limited fighters. Boxing is a very limited part of what we do. In the real world, out on street fights and all of that, y'all are children. Y'all are complete children. We get done any type of way that we want to do, y'all. All right? Limited fighting is what y'all do. Y'all sitting up and all butthurt about it and all this and that because he went in there and touched up a dude that's 20 years younger than he is. You get what I'm saying? Talking about size, this, size. There wasn't none of that when y'all was disrespecting this man. Talking about, he gonna get knocked out. He gonna do him bad. It ain't no point in sparring. You can't do nothing or none of that shit. But now y'all mad and y'all salty. You want to make up excuses and all of that. Hey, yo, bro, stop coming for bro like that, bro. All y'all piling up like y'all ready to do something, like y'all gonna do something. Hey, none of y'all can come into our gym, can come to any MMA gym and do what Bobby did to y'all in y'all own lane. All right? Eat that shit. There ain't no making up for it. There ain't no comeback. There ain't no get back. There ain't none of that shit, bro. Cut it out, bro. Y'all coming at my boy sideways and it's kind of starting to piss me off, bro. Because if we decide to get like that with y'all, with boxers as a whole, y'all barbecue.
Many UFC fighters left comments on that video agreeing with Jamahal. King Green himself said, "Love you, twin." Israel Adesanya said, "It's hard to accept the truth when you've been fed lies by elite pugilists. Clarissa and James Toney and Ali the realest out of them. But yeah, don't." And Merab Dvalishvili commented saying, "I agree." Chael Sonnen offered Adrian Broner $50,000 to spar King Green.
Adrian, if you would like to spar with Bobby Green.
He said, Adrian, if you would like to spar Bobby Green, I'll personally pay you $50,000.
And we'll pay you $50,000.
You heard that, cuh?
My team at Bag Inc. will bring the cameras, and we will pay you $50,000.
They said
I'll spar him again for $50,000.
They said they'll bring the cameras, and we will personally pay you $50,000 if you spar, cuh.
$50,000.
Tell them cough up some more money, though.
Some more money though. My mama though.
Bring cash, too, though. You don't even need to do that.
I don't need to do that.
Yesterday, Dana White announced the main card of Noche UFC on September 12th.
We announced some of the fights on the card. We have Brandon Moreno here today. Brandon Moreno versus Joseph Morales. Manon Farrow versus Alexa Grasso. David Martinez versus Danny Ige. Waldo Cortez Acosta versus Curtis Blades. And the main event will be Yair Rodriguez versus Gene Silva.
The UFC just booked a fight nobody saw coming. September 19th, UFC 331 co-main, Arman Tsarukyan is back after almost a year away. And across from him, the division's hottest finisher, Mauricio Ruffy, the guy who put King Green to sleep with a spinning wheel kick. Classic clash, elite wrestling versus insane knockout power. Ruffy's weakness is the ground. Arman's ring rust is the question mark. The winner walks straight into a title shot. Who wins, Arman by decision or Ruffy by KO? Drop it in the comments. On Monday, Conor McGregor announced that he would undergo knee surgery after injuring the ACL and meniscus in his right knee just 69 seconds into his fight with Max Holloway at UFC 329. Today, McGregor shared an update on how the procedure went. On Instagram, he said, "Surgery went excellent. I am confident." Daniel Cormier admitted that he was jealous of how much money Conor McGregor was making when he joined the UFC.
So when we were fighting, I was so lucky, bro, because when I got there, when I started fighting, if a person made like $100,000 a fight, it was like big money. Bro.
Yeah.
Big money. Like if you get six figures, it was like, it's big money, right? And I had, and again, I'm not like one of the four guys because Chuck Liddell and all those guys kind of set the standard. Anderson Silva, they set the standard for what the fighting became. But I remember if you made $100,000, you were so happy. And I was lucky enough to do those types of things very early because of my wrestling background. But when Conor McGregor came, that was when things changed. When Conor McGregor came, bro, I was so jealous too because like he was so popular, bro. Conor was so popular. And I was like, yo, this dude was making so much money. But I didn't realize that because he came and he just like, he like moved the line. Kind of single-handedly moved the line. Yeah. So if you were a champion in the UFC and you made $1 million, it was like, man, you made $1 million to fight one fight. But then when Conor got there, Conor was getting like 10 and 12. And it's like, yo, wait, what?
That's
so
crazy.
now as a champion, you go, I don't need what Conor needs, but what about 3?
Yeah.
Or maybe, you know,
yeah.
Now you start making real money. Conor McGregor literally lifted the boat for all of us, which was
amazing.
That was
on the One Night with Steiny podcast. O'Malley revealed that he once got into a verbal altercation with Strickland backstage over his 669 Ine tattoo. O'Malley says he shouldn't have said the things he did to Strickland at the press conference, and even admitted that Strickland would quote-unquote fuck him up.
Strickland was coming at me, bro.
Yeah.
Strickland was coming at me. What am I gonna not defend myself? I was like, Strickland's probably gonna come at me. Cause hey, dude, he came at me one time in the back locker room, or in the back, because we were fighting on the same card, and my 6'9" tattoo, and he's pressing me like in my face, talking about it. I was like, God damn it, Strickland.
Since he was saying that?
Yeah. So I'm like, what am I gonna talk to? Like, I won't.
What's he saying back there?
You're a like that. I don't know. But we've shook hands. We're fine. I shouldn't have said that. What I said. It is what it is. It's different. Like the thing is, like I shouldn't. Strickland would f me up, right? I get a fight. So it's hard. For the most part, I'm like, don't talk to people who f you up. So and I went against what I say. Like I always talk. But he came at me. I came at him. It is what it is. I personally think leaving family out of it. Other than that,
today, the UFC announced some big fights for UFC 331. First, we'll get a rematch between Renato Moicano and Brian Ortega. The two first met back in 2017, with Ortega winning by third-round guillotine choke. Gable Steveson will return for his second UFC appearance against Sean Sheriff. Gable made his debut at UFC 329, knocking out Elisha Ellison in the first round. The UFC also booked Tai Tuivasa against Robles Despain. The matchup sparked some backlash from fans, as Tuivasa is currently riding a 7-fight losing streak and remains on the UFC roster. If Tuivasa loses, he will tie Tony Ferguson for the longest losing streak in UFC history with 8 consecutive defeats. An MMA analyst suggests Ian Machado Garry could upset Islam Makhachev. Makhachev is widely considered the favorite and a potential GOAT. However, a Garry victory would significantly alter discussions about Makhachev's legacy.
Hear me out. Strickland pulled it off against Chimaev. Gaethje just pulled off the impossible against Ilia Topuria. And you're telling me that I shouldn't pick Ian Machado Garry to defeat Islam Makhachev in the main event and school him over 5 rounds? Come on! This is how it works, right? This is just the way things go, folks. I don't make the rules of MMA. I really don't. But there's an underdog there. And his name's Ian Machado Garry. And he should lose. And Islam Makhachev's on this GOAT horizon. And man, if he wins this one, we may have to have some uncomfortable conversations about the GOAT list. We've heard it all before.
The MMA guru predicts an upset victory for Ian Machado Garry over Islam Makhachev. He believes Garry will pepper Makhachev from range, pressure him, and create early problems. The guru is confident Garry will shock many.
Just fucking peppering him up at range, dude. Stance switching. Oh my god, Makhachev's torn his ACL. Ian Garry stomps Makhachev's leg in round 1. Makhachev didn't react too well to that. I'm just sensing something in the air, dude. But here's the thing, and this is the ultimate curse of being an dude, Poirier had this guy on the ropes, and Ian Garry ain't beating him. Just how bad is JDM? My glorious JDM, dude. We're gonna come back and we're gonna make it to the belt again. I know it. We were injured in that fight. We were ready to move up to middleweight. We had a bad weight cut, obviously. But let me tell you, dude. Ian Garry's got this.
Chael Sonnen says Ian Machado Garry's length and distance control could be important against Islam Makhachev. But Sonnen warns that keeping an opponent at the end of your punches is easier said than done, with only a few fighters truly mastering it.
Good job of controlling distance. Islam does a better job, I believe, of taking away distance. But you got a training camp, you got some time. Ian Garry, in theory, with that distance, in theory, he's right. If he can learn to keep you at the end of their punches. But I also find end of punches and controlling range to be lazy from guys that are trying to do what I do. I find end of punches, keeping range, I find this to be throwaway terms that fight.
Dan Hardy says Islam Makhachev trains in an elite gym where everyone is working toward the same high level, making him extremely difficult to prepare for.
Like there's a really elite level in that gym, and Makhachev's at the top of that pile. Like everybody in that gym is working towards where he is, and everybody in that gym's a killer. Like I just don't know if you're gonna be able to find the same kind of look that you're going to need to be able to deal with Makhachev. And I think now he's moved up to welterweight. I just think he looks physically so much healthier and stronger. You know, Ian Garry's a slick striker, but he needs to damage Makhachev. He can't play the 25 minutes of picking and poking because Makhachev will get to him.
Daniel Cormier weighed in on a potential matchup. He stated Ian Machado Garry could be one of Islam Makhachev's toughest opponents. Cormier highlighted Garry's length, striking, and takedown defense as serious threats. He advised Islam Makhachev to disregard milestones and focus solely on winning.
Probably the toughest matchup there is right now in this division. Being that Garry is so long, he's got great striking, and he's proven that he's got good takedown defense. So he has the skill set to compete with Islam Makhachev. He has that. He has that in spades, the skill set to compete with the two-division champion. I just think it would be a mistake to tie yourself to something because of a milestone or a goal or something that you put out in front of yourself that doesn't necessarily matter. You just win.
Daniel Cormier says Ian Machado Garry could beat Islam Makhachev, but he warns Garry not to overthink how he wins. Cormier believes setting a specific round or outcome as a goal can create unnecessary pressure. If Garry gets the victory, it doesn't matter whether it comes by decision, submission, or knockout. The only thing that matters is winning.
What I don't understand, though, is sometimes a person is misguided in their thoughts, and when they're misguided in their thoughts, they set themselves up for a very, very bad night or a bad result. I'm not saying Ian Garry cannot beat Islam Makhachev. What I'm saying is you got to take that as it comes. You can't try to say, I want to beat the #1 pound fighter in the world in a certain round because I don't want it to be a fluke. If you win, it does not matter how you win. It does not matter how you win. And as you guys know, this year, 2026, has been, I think, hearing Ian Garry say those things would be dismissed by...
Michael Bisping believes a potential fight between Islam Makhachev and Ian Machado Garry could be tougher than many expect. While some anticipate Islam's elite wrestling would lead to an easy win, Bisping highlights Garry's 17-1 record and well-rounded skill set. He points out Garry previously gave Shavkat Rakhmonov a very tough fight. Bisping warns against underestimating Garry.
I'm telling you right now, this fight for Islam Makhachev may be a lot harder than what people think. Given all of the accolades that Islam Makhachev has, it's easy to just dismiss Ian Garry and say, listen, he's got to just run right through him. Okay, you could send him to Dagestan or Georgia for 20 years and still forget all about it.
Send him 2-3 years Dagestan and forget.
Okay, because Islam Makhachev is the GOAT. He's going to take him down. The man's Irish. They don't wrestle in Ireland, for crying out loud. Well, guess what? He's a well-rounded mixed martial artist. He's 17-1. He had a very, very close...
Michael Bisping stated the UFC is stacking the welterweight division with dangerous contenders around Islam Makhachev. Should Ian Machado Garry become injured or unavailable, Michael Morales or Carlos Protez could step in. Bisping said these potential matchups are exactly the fights he wants to see.
Fighting in the welterweight division after Islam absolutely destroyed Jake Della Maddalena, and I say that as a fan of Jack, of course, but what they like to do is stack the card with some other relevant contenders in that division, just in case anything bad happens. They've got someone else that can step in. If Ian Garry gets sick, if he twists his ankle, if he gets injured throughout the training camp, well, guess what? Michael Morales can step in. Carlos Protez can step in. That is, of course, if that fight's actually getting made. But if it does get made, oh my God, that is the matchup that I really...
In an interview with MMA Junkie, Ian Machado Garry explained that Islam Makhachev may see him as an easy first title defense, but Garry believes the matchup is far more difficult than that. Unlike a wrestler or grappler with limited striking, Garry brings size, reach, speed, and intelligence across all areas of the fight, making him a much tougher challenge for Islam.
Same champion that he used to be. He's a completely different human right now. The dominance that he had at one point in time is not the same. So I think Islam is looking at that as an easy win, an easy first title defense. stylistically, it's also perfect for him. You know what I mean? A wrestler, a grappler, someone who wants to get there and doesn't have the cleanest striking in the world. It's an easy fight for Islam. It's a lot harder to fight a long, tall, rangy striker who's viciously fast and intelligent in all areas of the sport. It's a lot harder to do that for your first title.
In his interview with MMA Junkie, Ian Machado Garry made it clear that if he beats Belal Muhammad, he believes he has earned the right to be next for Islam Makhachev. Garry says Islam can choose the time and place, even if it's in the middle of winter in Russia, because he'll be ready to show up and take the fight.
You have to respect that I'm the next in line when I beat Belal this weekend. When I beat Belal, you have to understand that I am next. I've earned the right to be next. And you sit there and you say yes. And the truth is, Mike, here's the way I look at it. He can say when, and he can say where. If he wants to say the middle of winter in Russia, he can say it. I'll be there.
Michael Bisping believes Ian Machado Garry has earned the right to face Islam Makhachev for the welterweight title.
The world title fight at welterweight. I want to see the champion Islam Makhachev defend his belt against the #1 contender in the world, Ian Machado Garry. I'm next.
And that's why he's polarizing, and that's why some people love him, and that's why the majority of people kind of dislike him. But you can't deny what he's done in his career. You just can't, right? As much as you might want to, you can't. I mean, last time out, he won a decision over Belal Muhammad. He beats Carlos Praches. He loses to Shavkat Rakhmonov when he went the distance, and he beat Michael Venom Page, okay? Right? They are three very, very good wins. Before that, Jeff Neal, Neil Magny, Daniel Rodriguez, Son Kanon, and Darian Weeks made his UFC debut against Jordan Williams. That's fine, right? That's what you do. You work your way up. But when he got into the deep end of the division, against your MVPs, against your Jeff Neal, your Carloses, and your Belals, what did he do? He won all.
In an interview with MMA Fighting, Islam Makhachev acknowledged Ian Machado Garry's height and reach, but said he already understands Garry's Islam plans to pressure him, catch him, and take him down just like he has done with his previous opponent.
His skills, I just have to run in this camp too much because I have to follow him because he runs too much, you know. I know his game plan, we always see his fight and he has same style always. But I will try to catch him, take him down, just what I did with my old.
Michael Bisping questioned Ian Machado Garry's ability to challenge Islam Makhachev. He called Islam a wrestling monster. Yet, Bisping highlighted Garry's potential to make the fight interesting. He noted Garry's movement, jab, and head kicks, suggesting Garry could use his range to pick Islam apart.
Ian Garry's in camp. Will his next fight be against Islam Makhachev? Is that the fight that you want to see? Do you think that Ian Garry stands a cat's chance in hell? Do you think that Ian Garry stands a cat's chance in hell against Islam Makhachev, okay? He might need to go to Dagestan for 200 or 300 years and then forget about it because Islam Makhachev is a wrestling monster, okay? Or does Ian Garry float like a butterfly, sting like a bee? Or does he pick him apart with the jab, right? Use those head kicks and the movement. I can't do an Irish.
Chael Sonnen says the biggest questions for Ian Machado Garry are simple. Can he stop Islam Makhachev takedowns? And can his cardio hold up? Garry already proved his endurance against Shavkat Rakhmonov, but Islam will be his biggest test yet.
If Ian does play that game of cat and mouse with that long reach that he has, right? Is it enough to say that Ian's going to upset Islam? Boy, Islam's pretty special. I don't know that it is, but is it enough to make it interesting? It made it interesting when Ian took on Rakhmonov. Ian had a plan, and that fight wasn't boring. And that fight wasn't just about Rakhmonov chasing him down to try to get a hold of him. I don't know that Islam's assessment is accurate, but I'm not confident that.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you never miss the latest MMA news. And I'll see you in the next video.